Okay. There's fewer destinations at least. No, there's fewer blocks too. So we're just using these guys. These 6 blocks, I think, and these 2 mirrors, which is a huge step down from like 11 blocks and 2 mirrors or whatever it was last time. And we've got 4 diamonds, 2 X's. And there's my exit. 4 diamonds, 2 X's. You would almost think this would be simpler than the other one, but we'll see about that. We'll see about that. Oh. Okay, so seeing this kind of configuration, I would think that something like this is what we're going for. Yeah, these 2 don't line up with like this or anything, so it wouldn't be here. But it could be here still. Probably still is, actually. There's a beam on both sides. There's a teal and a purple. And whenever you have these guys separated like this, there's a decent chance that you use these guys to manage the beams. Okay, so purple X, purple diamond, teal X, teal diamond. Huh. There's almost the suggestion of no color blending, except for the fact that these 2 are white. Creates a problem. Alright, so we're in X mode. And when I press the switch, which is all the way over here, I missed the hotkey that used to switch these. Ah, it's actually white right now, because it's pointing into that guy. It's accidental solution. Alright, so we're in X mode. In this mode, these X's need to get over there. So, in X mode, so this is teal. So we want the teal to go there. Which is weird. Maybe I'm wrong about the initial positioning. I can't shoot it that way, because he's in the way. The diagonal direction would work if I could do it, but it's here, behind it? How would I get that going there? I think it might have been the other configuration. Maybe I have to shoot the beams through to them. Why are they white? Oh, it's the infinite loop glitch. That muddies the waters like crazy when that happens, because it gives a false impression of a different beam. Yeah. And this kind of infinite loop breaks all sorts of things. No, because you shoot at 90-degree angles. I was like, maybe I can make this kind of angle work, but that's for a different material type, a different block. I don't really remember what, but there was something where that would work. That doesn't apply here. This does go through these guys. But weirdly, I have 2 X's and 2 diamonds solved right now. Yeah. There's no reason to shoot back that way, though. maybe I fire the beam back when it goes this way. Maybe even back into its source. That just deactivates the X. Now nothing's being solved because everything's white. The risk of symmetry is that you can create loops, and the loops are bad for us in this current setup. But whatever the solution is will likely be symmetrical, because the map's symmetrical as far as I can tell. This might be where a strategically placed block rescues us from ourselves. Creating a filter. This lets green through. When do I ever have green? Let's switch these two. That does give us a green. What if I'm actually supposed to filter these like early on? Something weird like that. Shoots the blue beam into the two things that need blue. But that's not a good plan though, because it switches off. If anything, I'd want like one of these that just shoots both of them. If I was gonna do something like that. Maybe that's when something like this comes in for these guys. I'm not sure how any of this helps. Probably doesn't. Just feeling at ideas. A lot to process at once. You can kind of get away with an infinite loop during the diamonds. So like the X's are just yeah, all the X's are only teal and purple. So for X configuration, it's about getting teal and purple in all the right places. Whereas during diamond configuration, you have one purple here, one teal there. So you still have to do the opposite color of what you had before. But you also maybe create an infinite loop of these two colors so that they then let the right things through. You probably need to create an infinite loop of white that loops with one other output that goes towards these guys, and then maybe you can use the filters to make them the right color. Let's see what you need here. Like that output's teal, that output's purple. So these can create teal and purple from white. So if I create an infinite loop in the diamond configuration, and then I need to make the output of the white become the right color, I can do that. But I have to be careful, because it has to only work for filtering the diamond configuration out. And it has to, my way of getting the X laser in has to skip past this, because it'll bounce off otherwise. So, in other words, I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Oh, boy. Throwing ideas around. Let's see. Which configuration are we in right now? So that'd be diamond, that'd be X, if I'm right about putting them here, which I don't know if I am. Hooray! So in this one, I'm not interested in creating a loop necessarily when I'm doing X. But I thought against the idea of this being how this configuration works because of the fact that this blue beam... That could be part of it, actually. Maybe that's part of the answer. When this beam's coming off, it bounces off of it, but then during the other configuration, it goes through the back of it. Maybe. But this is supposed to be the X configuration, and right now it's solving diamonds. That's not very helpful. And if I switch them, it splits them, which is not particularly helpful. I think you deal with the white via an infinite loop. I don't think I'm supposed to combine these with each other. I don't think I'm supposed to ever split the beams into their constituent parts, because we just don't have that many blocks to manage those kinds of beams with. So being able to recombine them in the right spot seems like it's going to be a problem. Whereas if all the colors combine in a block, then when they reach these, they just are white, and it doesn't matter if they technically had like 2 blue components, 1 green component, and 1 red component, and stuff like that. They just become white, and then it goes to this as white. So the other, it's almost certainly an infinite loop that does the other one. Then one issue is, how do I create the infinite loop so it only happens in one direction? Because during the diamonds, the loop is fine. But during the X configuration, I don't want... Oh wait, it doesn't create an infinite loop. The problem is that these are pointing at each other, so they're white now. Damn it. I'm being held back by the the glitch. It technically makes sense that the beam would infinitely bounce back and forth, mechanically, in like a reality sort of way. It just doesn't make a lot of sense for a puzzle, because now I've got this white light that's not coming from anything, and so it messes with the puzzle a lot. This is the approach I haven't tried yet, I suppose. Is some solution where you just start with the filter, which sounds monstrously complicated and like it won't work. Not you. So back to X's, because that's the simpler one. Like, we need both of those to go through there, and then there. This is just recreating the beam pointlessly. That's not even close. Oh, and these alternate configurations are creating laser types that aren't even part of what I'm trying to do right now. What's that flickering? This is just an elaborate way of switching the beams, essentially. Or not even that. No, I'm just taking the blue out of both of them and putting them back in the other one. So I'm not even switching the beams. I'm just recreating the same beams in a dumber way than the last one. I really am just poking. I don't have anything to grasp onto for some reason. We could try stripping back to, like, the first kind of ideas that seemed like they'd work. I don't know. I don't know. I'm slowly losing my mind. It's like we still have the idea of having a beam that always shoots into these. The problem with my filter idea bouncing into them is that it only bounces one configuration into these things, so having a dedicated beam shooter makes some kind of sense. And if it's going to be some kind of loop, it'd have to match up with this side. So I can catch a beam in the first place. That solves diamond. That side of diamond, anyway. But somehow the white beams still need to happen. That's the part I'm less certain on. At the moment, no beams are going through diamond at all. Now I'm just accidentally solving X. Two diamond, 2X. Then what do I do with this? If my goal is to get that to there. Ah. Now the diamonds aren't happening. Now I'm just solving the other X between the two configurations. That could be interesting. So now we're currently bouncing the blue elements into these guys. So this is the X solution, so this would be the diamond solution. So red needs to reach here. And there. That gets that diamond and that diamond. That gets that diamond and that diamond. And that solves the X's! Ah! That did the thing! Fuck, these are complicated. Ah! Who would have known that I would ever do this? It's bizarre. I played Archaica a while ago. Which might, if the developer's watching, I don't know if this, or if you guys just like this stuff and you want more games like this, Archaica is potentially worth a look. It's got a more of like an isometric looking camera angle, but you just manually place a bunch of mirrors to redirect a bunch of beams around. And my playthrough of that game was just exhausting. Because I was so bad at it that this kind of puzzled, because they're so complicated. I got into this for the Witness and Portal style systems, not the hyper complicated laser beam bouncers, which always inevitably reach a tipping point where I just shut down. But like, that was such a long, exhausting, messy playthrough. And who would have known I would then go on and be like, let's play 6 more games like this from this developer. What possessed me to do this to myself again? I knew what was gonna happen. I always knew. And we get back on the train. Look how clean it looks with all the dark walls. Where the walls are dark purple and black. Suddenly all those beams stand out so well. Hey. Did I blink and miss it? Did they even credit themselves, or did they just credit the testers? I might have missed the first credit where they credit themselves for making the entire game, and then the 3 testers. Alright, well, that's our 6th ReThink game down. See you guys next time.